Welcome back, everybody. Alex the Railroader here for another update, and I'll show you what I'm about to do. So, just for kicks, I set up my one of my trains on top of the trestle bridge so you can kind of see the scale of it all, how it'll all fit together. And in the corner there will be this really tall mountain, this really just giant mountain. I'm thinking maybe 18 to 24 inches above that surface there, not to mention the height of it dropping down into the canyon as well. So on this episode, I'm going to be building this this bridge here. That's going to be the third bridge that goes right over there where that curve is. So I'm going to get to work on that now. So this is the completed bridge. It's a very small bridge. It's only 9 inches long, and it's 2.5 inches wide, and the track will be on a curve over the bridge, but after doing some measurements, it fits. It fits really well. So you can kind of see the underside of the bridge there, and the cross bracing beams and such. So yeah, really happy with that little bridge. Now, I'm going to get to work on putting together the yard. So I have kind of a dilemma here, which is I don't really know how I'm going to set this up because none of it fits in the way that it does on the screen, on the software that I have. None of it fits the same way. So my original plan to have a engine house with 3 tracks in it just can't happen because the engine house has to be big enough to at least fit this forney. Forget about any other engine I have, which will have a separate tender and will be much longer. There's only enough room right over there for that. And the mountain has to go here, and it needs to have enough space that it looks like a big mountain. I can't just make it shallow. It just wouldn't look right. So it's just kind of frustrating because there's not enough space anywhere to do anything that I wanted to do. And I thought I'd just share that with you, and maybe I'll take a few more minutes and just try to come up with a final design or something. Alright, so I'm here next to my little wooden trestle bridge, and the wood here is at level with the foam. But now I need to create a transition from the foam onto the bridge, so that way the weight distribution is fairly even. I'm going to be using these little wood sticks here, and I'm going to sink them into the foam to make them pretty much even with the bridge. And so how I'm going to do that is I bought this melting tool. It's for melting styrofoam and other things. This is, the brand is called Winans. So anyway, it's pretty cool, and it comes with the usual, wire foam cutter. It also comes with like a foam cutting knife tool, and then it comes with this, which is a foam engraving tool. And the engraving tool is like kind of cool. Like if I really wanted to, I could draw a little happy face onto the foam, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, you're going to watch me mark a little space. So let's see here. I'll mark that with the board, and then I'll melt into it. There we go. I think that can go a little bit further. See. Let me see. Yep. Anyway, let's see. And the foam is instantly cool enough to touch. So let's see. That needs to go a bit further down. And the cool thing about this is that it doesn't melt the foam enough that it smokes, because the smoke and the vapors is what's really dangerous, but it doesn't melt that hot. There we go. Alright, that is perfect. I'll just have to glue that in place, but now let's do the next one. Alright, now I'll just glue that in place and that'll be a nice transition onto the bridge. Good morning, everyone. It is a new day and all the track has finally been laid, glued down, and the wires that connect it have been pulled through to the bottom. And so here you can see the finalized design I had to go with. I say had to because I didn't really want to, but this was the only way I could fit everything I needed to fit. As you can see, I needed a staging yard for removing or putting trains back on, and that staging yard would be used to hold the passenger train that I have. And then over here, coming off the main line, I have the engine house, which is those two tracks there. Those are isolated tracks, so the rail joiners are not metal, they're plastic. So these tracks have their own electrical line. That makes it so, since I have a DC system, I can actually turn off one of those tracks and only pull out one locomotive at a time. So that helps, so that way I don't have two engines pulling from the same power. Again, DC is, that's how it works. But anyway, so this other line here, this is the freight train spur. This is where the freight train will be parked, I guess, whenever I'm not using it. I could also use the staging yard, but I think it'll look nice right here, just sitting here. But anyway, I made it a little bit longer than I needed because since I had to rearrange everything, there wasn't necessarily room for the ore chute that I was going to have that dumps into the flat cars there. So I decided to extend it out that way, and then maybe I'll put the ore chute over there so it's within view of the bridge. But anyway, yeah, so this is the design I came up with. Even the track on the trestle bridge is glued down and soldered in. So everything is soldered together. The problem is I still have yet to wire it all up underneath and connect it to the rail power. So for today, what I'm going to be doing is temporarily installing the bridges that I built for those. I say temporarily because I'll need to install them in such a way that they can still be removed when I eventually need to pave the entire river and sculpt the river. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. Alright, so the bridges are in. This is the small one, all the way on the left of the layout. And it fits perfectly. I really like it. And of course, in the coming weeks, I'll be carving out more of the river and making it look more like real rock work and stuff. This little foam cutter has been working really nicely. Again, still very dangerous to work with a foam cutter, but yeah, works nicely. And then here's the other bridge. So this is the first one I put in. And I temporarily glued these support struts here. But I didn't want to permanently glue them yet because I still have to put plaster and stuff on the bottom of the river. but I need these bridges in place if I want to run trains until then. I have been pushing this little train car here around the layout, and everything seems to be working just fine. This one too, I've been rolling this one around the layout. Alright, so anyway, whoops. I gotta tidy up. I gotta tidy up this whole thing before I can work on it any further. Alright, so I put all of the cars on the track yesterday because I needed to get rid of... I had this big foam board that I just stored everything on, and it was taking up a lot of space, and my biggest goal for the past couple weeks is just get rid of that board and free up some space around the house. So finally I put all the stuff on the track after I got all the track glued in and then soldered down and everything. So this is the finalized track layout of what the shape of everything will be and stuff. And after that, I just have to build up scenery and the town and everything. So today, what I ended up doing, well, both last night and today, I actually hooked up all the wires underneath the entire layout. And that I did not film. And the reason why I didn't film it is because you don't want to see me set up wiring for a layout. There's a lot of frustration, a lot of yelling, and a lot of threats I don't intend to go through with. So I just thought it would be really not a good idea. But anyway, so the other thing I set up here is finally the switch board for turning on and off the tracks to the engine house there, because since this is a DC system, you can't really run two locomotives at the same time because, first of all, it draws a lot more electricity, and second of all, one engine will run faster than the other. And so, anyway, because of that, you can only run one engine at a time, which is fine. I only have a 4x8 layout. There's no reason to run two trains at the exact same time. It would just be a headache anyway, even if I had DCC. So anyway, yeah, so I'll give you a quick glimpse as to what the wiring underneath the layout looks like, but it's probably not going to make sense. So I set up this LED light strip to my portable charger, and that's what I use to get underneath the layout and get light under here. So as you can see, there's a simple bus bar that connects everything, but this is where it gets more complicated. There is a mess of wires that I hot glued to the surface of the layout, so that way they don't dangle anywhere. And it's really hard for me to explain, but yeah. I know how I wired everything, and those are the two switches that operate the engine house. So yeah, as you can see, this is why I did not want to explain anything or show video of me doing this, because it's very frustrating for me. But anyway, it works, and I'm about to show you how. Alright, so let's go and turn everything on. I still don't have a permanent place for this throttle control yet. I still got to decide, but anyway, let's turn everything on. And you'll see that because I isolated the engines, they won't move if I turn on the track. And you know the track is on because the lights on the passenger cars over there just turned on. So right now, if I have the dial turned to speed 30, which again, numbers don't mean anything, but anyway, you can see the engines are not moving. So this is cool. Even if you're experienced and you've seen this before, this is new to me. I've never even seen it with my own eyes, but I did it myself. So this interests me. So I'll go ahead and shut off the power, and now let's go ahead and bring out the small 042. So I gotta switch the tracks properly. It's all manual switches. Alright, they're all switched properly. So now, oh, right, I'll have to turn this on. There we go, and power on, and there it goes. Now, I want it to bring out the freight train, so switch the track, and then reverse direction. The track might also need to be cleaned too, so if you see it stopping and stuff, that's probably why. Make sure this track is switched back, and I gotta make sure this one is switched too, because I forgot last night I was moving a train. Okay, it's fine. So here comes the other train. That is a awesome sight. That is amazing. I gotta tell you, this is my first time working with this scale. When I was a kid, I had HO scale trains and stuff, so I have experience with some HO scale track, but that was with Easy Track. I never actually built a layout as a kid, so going from N scale all the way to ON30 and having to install all these little details like on the bridge, and then wiring up a track like this so that way I could run one engine at a time but still have two engines on the same layout. It's all new to me, but I gotta say, I'm proud of myself. I'm glad I went and just did it, you know? Now let's go ahead and put away this train, and we'll bring out the other locomotive to pull the other train. Why don't I run my trains faster? Well, frankly, I'm not into toy trains. I really do consider these models, and I want to run them at speeds that you would actually see in real life. So that's why I don't run them super fast. You just wouldn't see that. So now I can slow it down and stop. Now go forward. I've disconnected the cars, by the way. I had to stop the camera. So I'll go ahead and stop that there. Switch the track and reverse direction. Now this little engine has a tendency to kind of stop over some of the frogs. So if I turn the power up a little bit, it'll make it over the frogs. But, oh, I forgot. I gotta have this turned on. There we go. Otherwise it just stops right there. Alright. So I'll switch that off. Switch this one on. Switch the track so it's the right thing. And oh, that's reverse. Oh, there's the headlight. Nice. Now there'll be mountains and stuff on this layout to block unwanted views of scenery and stuff, and also to act as visual blocks, so that way I'll stop it on the bridge there. There'll be visual blocks, so that way it seems as if the trains disappear from view and come back into view in other areas, which is really helpful when you have such a small layout. You want it to seem bigger than it really is. Alright, reverse time. forward direction. That is awesome. Well, folks, there will be more videos to come of this layout, and not only just me building it, but me running the trains on it through the various stages of its completion. So you'll see me running trains and stuff on this layout. This video is already getting very long, so I'm going to stop it here, but thank you very much for joining me. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it for this update today. So join me next time as I start building scenery and stuff, and I'm really excited to go with that because up until now, all this has been the stuff that I had to do. I consider it work. It's fun to an extent, but wiring and stuff, while I know how to do it, I don't like to do it. But I love to build scenery. So I'm really excited to get to that. But anyway, thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.